Hello, my name is Alan Zimmerer. I've recently been elected President of the Apostolate for Family Consecration. My wife and I and family have been a part of this organization for a little over 15 years. We, like you, wanted to be a part of something that is helping to transform society back into a God-centered one. This apostolate not only serves the United States, but also Africa, Asia, Europe, Russia, and Latin America. I encourage you to continue to watch this video and learn more about the apostolate and discern how you can help us financially. Thank you.
The Apostolate for Family Consecration has a vision, a civilization of love, life, and truth, a society where neighborhoods are God-centered, where parishes are vibrant, where Catholic culture abounds, a society composed of consecrated families who love the Holy Eucharist, Our Lady, and the Papacy. The vision of the Apostolate for Family Consecration is the complete reign of the Holy Family within society. In order to accomplish this goal, the Apostolate has defined this mission: to consecrate families to the Holy Family, to form hearts and minds in the truths of our faith, and to empower individuals to spread the gospel by word and deed. Where did this vision come from? What led to the creation of this mission? To find out, we'll have to go to the Chicago suburbs of the late 1950s. Jerry Conacher and Gwen Billings were married on the Feast of the Assumption in 1959. Immediately after the ceremony, they went to the Blessed Mother's altar and entrusted their marriage to her care. At a Christmas party that year, Jerry was introduced to a disturbing new concept: the culture of death.
I was sitting in the kitchen with my uncles, and one of my uncles was talking about the conspiracy for the culture of death. And I didn't believe my uncle, and I said, no, that's... And he said they're going to use sex education in the schools to demoralize a whole generation of young people. I didn't believe him, and I was going to prove him wrong, so I really did the research to prove him wrong, and I proved him right. And so that started it in Christmas of 1959. I started to organize people and to oppose sex education in the schools. But it came into our own neighborhood in Deerfield, Illinois. When they brought the whole program into our school district, we thought for sure we could win, because we've been fighting on a national level since 1959, so we knew all their tricks. Then it came down to the school board meeting, and I thought for sure we would win because the media was giving fair reporting. We had a majority of the people already signed the board, no sex education. We had enough money to get the information out to everybody. Thought for sure we'd win, because it was these people we knew on the school board. They weren't evil people. It wasn't like a big city where you couldn't get to them. And but they voted in 100%, and I couldn't believe it. I said we did everything right. There's no reason for this. And but I found out in 1971 that this was a spiritual battle. It was not a political battle. And then all my work in political work was for naught unless we had basically a spiritual vanguard.
After this, Jerry and Gwen did become more attentive to spiritual matters, and after a prayerful reading of St. Louis de Montfort's True Devotion, which promoted the concept of total consecration to Jesus through Mary, the Conachers made their own act of consecration. Later that year, the Conachers shocked family and friends by leaving their business and moving with their children to Portugal, settling in the land where Our Lady had appeared to 3 shepherd children in 1917. Even before the move, the Conachers felt that God was calling them to something beyond themselves and their growing family, now numbering 8 children. In Portugal, away from worldly distractions, Mary's Fatima message of catechesis, reparation, consecration, and evangelization took deep root in their hearts. On a visit to the United States in 1972, Jerry Conacher met Father Bernard Geiger, the editor of the Immaculata Review, the official magazine of the Knights of the Immaculata. Father Geiger invited Jerry to become the executive director of the Knights, prompting the Conacher family to leave Portugal after a 2-year stay and return to the United States. In his new job, Jerry was inspired by the deeply Marian spirituality of the organization's founder, St. Maximilian Kolbe. In 1975, after much prayer and consultation, Jerry Conacher left the Knights, and he and Gwen founded the Apostolate for Family Consecration. This lay association of Christ's faithful was built on the notion of helping families establish a truly God-centered culture within their families and neighborhoods through the spiritual vanguard of formation, evangelization, and consecration, all through the controlled use and power of the media. The apostolate began building its Consecration and Truth multimedia library, preserving for all time the thoughts of leading Catholic teachers and presenting their teachings from a family perspective. Two of the first contributors were Jesuit Father John Hardin and Blessed Teresa of Calcutta. As the apostolate grew and developed, volunteers from all walks of life began to answer the call of family consecration and contribute to the growth of this important family ministry. Whether working in the midst of their local communities or working at the Apostolate Center, married persons began to embrace the spirituality of family consecration as a way of life and felt called to make a deep commitment to live and spread the apostolate's message of family consecration. These generous married persons make up what we now call the disciple membership of the Apostolate for Family Consecration. Similarly, young adults who are not yet married also felt called to volunteer their service to help the apostolate spread its message of family consecration. Over time, many of these volunteers expressed a desire to continue their service in a permanent arrangement. In 1986, the apostolate formally created a celibate membership branch known as the Catholic Corps, single men and women who consecrate their lives to God through the work and mission of the Apostolate for Family Consecration. Today, the apostolate continues to attract people in all states of life to make a gift of themselves to God as dedicated members of the Apostolate for Family Consecration. As a result of the apostolate's growth, its headquarters moved from Kenosha, Wisconsin to a former seminary in Bloomingdale, Ohio, which became Catholic Family Land, a place set apart for families. Catholic Family Land now hosts annual retreats for men, women, and teens. Providing an opportunity for recollection and prayer is an important aspect of the apostolate's ministry. The family favorite, however, are the Holy Family Fests. Held every summer, these are a week-long celebration of faith and fun for the entire family. Each year, over 3,000 people are hosted by the apostolate during these God-centered vacations. Catholic Family Land also became the nerve center for the apostolate's multimedia productions, and eventually, Family Land TV Online. Family Land TV provides unique, on-demand video content that's family-friendly, offering programs on faith and spirituality, news broadcasts, children's programs, classic movies, television, and more. Apart from family-safe entertainment, the apostolate also produces many catechetical resources for learning, living, and sharing the faith. The most recognizable of these resources is the Apostolate's Family Catechism. Since its first publication in 1993, this instructional tool has become the reference of choice in many schools, parishes, and homes. As of its fifth printing in 2011, the Catechism is available in English, Spanish, Filipino, and Mandarin, with new editions of Myanmar and Kachin coming soon, and translations underway in Russian and Rwandan. The Catechism also moved online in 2010 with the launch of FamilyCatechism.com. Here, the entire Catechism text is made even more accessible and is accompanied by videos and links to external resources. FamilyCatechism.com is currently available in English, Spanish, Filipino, and Mandarin. The apostolate has begun to take root all over the world, with dedicated members at each new location eagerly embracing its vision, mission, and spirituality. In Nigeria, home to the largest seminary in the world, the apostolate is proud to be established in the Diocese of Onitsha, a place of vibrant faith. In 2010, our lay evangelization team facilitated the consecration of an entire town to the Holy Family, a first for the AFC. In Belgium, modern technology is at the heart of the apostolate's outreach. Audio and video materials are being used to educate people in the truths of the faith, and a special emphasis is placed on First Saturday devotions. In Russia, the Apostolate's Mission Center has dubbed new Russian audio over many videos of Cardinal Lorenzi's Catechism series. Translation work is also complete for the preparation for total consecration and Cardinal Lorenzi's Alone with God. In Mexico, the apostolate has a close working relationship with the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, bringing the message of family consecration to the visitors at this popular pilgrimage site and working with families in many parishes. In the Philippines, the apostolate works to train facilitators and lay evangelization teams, dedicated volunteers from across the country who bring the mission and vision of the apostolate back to their own home diocese, particularly through the use of the family catechism. In Myanmar, after 4 years of hard work, the family catechism has been translated into both major languages, Myanmar and Kachin, reinforcing the catechesis which takes place during the Be Not Afraid family hours. Gwen Conacher died in 2002. Her witness for life and motherhood was recognized by the Church on July 10, 2007, when Bishop R. Daniel Conlon of the Diocese of Steubenville opened the cause for her beatification. That ceremony occurred just a month after the Apostolate for Family Consecration became only the 123rd lay association in the world, and the first founded by an American couple, to be granted pontifical status by the Church, meaning that the ministry is now officially recognized and explicitly approved by the Holy See. In January of 2011, Jerry Conacher retired from the position of president after more than 35 years of devoted service. Thank you, Jerry and Gwen, for founding such a wonderful work in the Church, a work which continues to grow and touch lives throughout the world in an effort to bring about the social reign of the Holy Family. The Apostolate for Family Consecration will always remain dedicated to its mission, consecrating families, forming hearts and minds, and empowering the laity. All for the Sacred and Eucharistic Heart of Jesus, all through the Sorrowful and Immaculate Heart of Mary, all in union with St. Joseph.